All right, let's start focusing on our breathing. Start coming to taking your attention right to the center of your chest, now into your abdomen, and breathe with your abdomen. So, not breathing with your chest, but breathing in and out with your abdomen, going up and down to the count of three in, hold three, and out three. Okay, let's make an agreement now. This agreement is between you and you, not you and I. What kind of time do you have to be present for this call? I can be present for the entire hour of this call until 1 p.m. EST. I can give you that attention. What can you give? And if you have a closing at 12:30, or if you got something going on that you need to do, great. Just make that agreement with yourself and put it in the chat box. Okay, cool. Now let's get into a good place. Make sure most of you guys, every one of you guys, I believe, well, not everyone, but almost everyone has been to a live event. So let's make sure that we are high vibing right now, that we're above the 200 level, if you guys know what I'm talking about right now. So go inside and check, how does it feel to be you right now? What's the experience of being you? Become aware. Are you anxious, nervous, joyful, grateful, happy, excited, overwhelmed? Check it. And if you are in any place below 200, which is anything critical, negative, fearful, anxious, angry, anything in there, let's everybody take a second and in the chat box put 3 things that you're grateful for right now. Cool. So now what I want you guys to do is, every single one of you guys, I want you to think about a challenge that you have right now in your life. And I want you to think about it from this perspective, that you're excited that you have this challenge, because challenges are opportunities, because life is always going to give us challenges. And the way that we respond to challenges is what will make or break our life. So what challenge do you have right now that you're excited about and that you'd like some support around? You don't need to put the challenge in the chat box, but what I'd like to start out with is, let's go around. Anybody that has any specific challenge, I want to give you little mini hot seats to everybody that needs some support. If you're feeling good and you don't have any challenges, I request of you that you listen with the ears of your heart here and see if you can help people out too. What I'd like to have an agreement with you is, when somebody goes, I'd like to be able to call on somebody so that this stays as interactive as possible, so everybody is is engaged. What I will tell you, and the people that that have come to live events and participated in this, I'm thinking about Shannon right now. You can't coach somebody and help somebody else without it rubbing off on you. So the reason that I run everything in big groups is use your mental database, fight through it, and see what would help that person. And then later on, you go back and you go, wait a second, I just coached that person to do that, and I didn't do that, and I don't do that, or I could be doing that better too. I should really, Shannon had a major life switch after it, but I'm not looking for that drastic, but I'm looking for, hey, you know what? These are your peers. If you don't have this problem, you probably will at some point. Okay, you guys are all awesome people. You can ask Shira or Dan. It is a knockdown, drag them out who we let go to level 2. Shira and Dan are both just want to claw my eyes out by the end because I am wicked on this. And they're both mad at me at the end. And they're both like, I cannot believe this. And I do it on purpose because the quality of your experience is directly related to the quality of the people that are in the room. So let's go around right here. I'm going to go to the end. Who wants some support in here? I've got a lot in the chat box. So let's start right under Aaron DeHart. Who wants some support around a specific challenge that they're having right now to run a little mini hot seat? So even if you put something in here, there's 31 comments, so I can't go through all of them. Right now, put in the chat box, say, hey, listen, Deryck calling me. I want a little mini hot seat here. Okay, so we've got Todd's going to go first. Lisa Corey's going to go second. Amber Milligan's going third. Dave Tanner's going fourth. So for everybody that's going, I want you to make sure that, just in the interest of time, that you get really specific on your question. You don't need to go into any backstory really on it. Everybody wants to give a context on something. Well, this is what happened, and let me tell you guys why this is. Go get right to it on the question. And if I have any questions about it and need backstory or clarification, I'll ask. But you guys go right to the challenge so that we can make this as productive as possible. Everybody else, I'm putting you in gallery view right now. I'm watching. If you guys are on, you are agreeing that I can call on you to give some feedback. And I might call on you to give some feedback, and you might not even know the answer, but I want you to try. Okay. So this is a learning environment, interactive environment. So Todd Corey, you're up, my friend.
All right. Hi, guys. So lately, my biggest challenge has been that pricing got so crazy, Fairway, right? And they've since addressed it, but we lost some business over pricing, right? And I know that's an abundance thing. And I got to tell you, I mean, I worked very diligently on getting my morning right, getting my mind right, doing all those things. Working the systems, doing the things you need to do. But I would tell you, I still get anxious over that. I guess it's kind of human, but I beat myself up over that kind of stuff, right? And then I know we have our level 2, like our business plan that's just looming over my head right now. But I've been doing all the other stuff. We just haven't got it done. So, and I still want to stay true to myself on like going and play golf. I've got a thing set up tomorrow afternoon. I want to still do that and feel at peace about it.
Okay, cool. Let me just preface this, everybody. What I don't want this to turn into is anything company specific and anything pricing specific per company that, that can go down a rabbit hole that doesn't serve anybody. So just generally speaking, let's reframe that conversation to, hey, rates, went the wrong way on me for a little bit here. And, and I'm getting frustrated with that, which is a normal thing right then. And then I'm also hearing time management in here, and I'm hearing priority management. So who wants to take a stab at this right now? Awesome. Jenny, you got it.
Did you just call on me?
I did.
Oh, gosh.
Remember, we made that agreement. I get to call on anybody.
I know.
If you're on, I get to call on you, so pay attention.
Yeah, I'm paying attention. So I'm in an office right next to Todd. So Todd and I have already talked about some of this stuff. I I would say from being a few months ahead of you in the coaching, Todd, I would put working on your business plan at the top in terms of priority. Because once that's done and fleshed out, there's a piece that kind of runs through your business that calms some of the other stuff down a little bit. At least it did for me.
That's wonderful advice.
Is to react to the now. I would say be okay with losing 5 more loans to rate so that you can get your system down and feel confident about it and let the storm settle. And then you feel good about where you're going and you can kind of re-engage and just know, all right, I might have lost 10 loans and that sucked, but now I'm here and I got this system in place and I've hired this new person and I'm ready to go gangbusters in March.
That was excellent advice. And I called on you specifically because you would be dealing with the same exact pricing issues that he was dealing with. And you have a different frame because why? Why do you have a different frame with that? Do you think it's because you are spending time working on your business? And
no, I mean, I still feel those pricing, the uncomfortableness of it. And I've lost a lot of deals. I've just learned through this coaching to bless and release those and move on. Like I only let myself be mad for 5 minutes and then I have to get over it because it doesn't serve me to wallow in that. Yeah. And then really the freedom of getting that process in place and then hiring the people to execute the process is where my freedom is. And my goal is freedom, not necessarily closed loans.
That was excellent. And guys, I just want to make a point real quick too. Most people start off with time management type questions. And what you would see is, or let me ask you, Todd, if I was to come into your office and put a stopwatch on you, how much do you think that you actually work during a day? And this isn't about you. This is like, Deanna started laughing. Like, I'm not trying to make a point, but I'm like, if you want me to go further, I'm saying that the majority of the time that I've observed loan officers, they spend a lot of time in their head battling about, I should have said this. I can't believe they did this. She did this. What is she? I cannot believe he had the audacity to ask me, oh my God. And if I would have just said this at this time, and we spend so much time in our heads on those things that the actual time that we are productive and that we're being valuable to our business is lower than most people are aware of. What would you say, Todd?
It's probably like about 4 hours a day, really. I mean, if I'm lucky, right? I mean, so sometimes it's less. It's you're right. But working on the business also now, I've got I'm actually meeting lots of people, right? So you got transfer times and that kind of stuff. But yeah, I'd say 4 hours. Let's be real.
So one of the key things, and we are going to talk mindset still in level 2 because it never goes away. But one of the key things is really watching your emotional resiliency. Okay?
Yeah.
Because what happens to almost everybody is that you guys are caring people. That's why you're successful. But the flip side of being caring is that we tend to take on too much, and we put too much pressure on ourselves, and we start to get emotional pain about that, and it's hard. And so the nuts and bolts of the business, I'll tell you this, I learned this one in the hardest way possible. I remember, I know exactly where I was. It was 2008, and I had this awesome assistant, and I thought I was working like 70 hours a week. Like in my mind, I was working 70 hours a week. And my assistant, we went out to lunch, and he was like, dude, you have the best job in the world. You work like 2 hours a day. Like you just come in and the phone just rings, and you take you guys know my system. You take this, you give it to me, and then you're done. And you do, like, that was my deal. I was like, all I need to do is 1 loan a day and I'm good. Right. And he's like, but I would be in the office and I'd be stewing over things. And I was like, golly, the impression in my mind, I'm working my face off. The impression to him was, dude, you're not even working. And so I go home and I talk to my wife. My wife helped out a lot with the organization of the business too. And I was like, Phil just said that I barely work. I cannot believe he just said that. And she was like, dude, you don't. And I was like, wait, all you guys think I don't work that much? And they were like, yeah. And I was like, what the heck am I doing all day then? Because I'm going to the office, I'm doing something. In my mind, I'm so like busy, and then I realized it was just me and the time that I was spending in my mind. And that was one of the key shifts that I started to make is, hey, you know what? I'm gonna really pay attention to the way that I feel. And you guys, I know that's touchy feely, right? So like an Aaron DeHart, big military guy, like saving people in Las Vegas, he might be like, dude, what's up with your touchy feely nonsense? I'm telling you, it's a way to increase productivity. So pay attention to the amount of time that you spend in your head. Sitting around listening to your thoughts is not a good use of your time. It's not. And be aware. And if you see yourself spending time thinking of your thoughts, be aware of the way you feel. That's why I do everything, getting you guys focused on the way that you feel. The way that you're never going to manage your thoughts, but you can become aware of the way that you feel. Does that make sense to everybody? You're never going to be able to, like, people are like, you got to manage your thoughts. They're automatic. They come from your brain, right? You can become aware of the way that you feel. And if you're feeling stressed, overwhelmed, pissed off because somebody said something, right? Like all that stuff, right? You can let that stuff go. And in the shifts, right? Like Jenny, if you don't mind, if you let me use you as an example, the shifts I see in some of these people when people go, well, Jenny's got it all figured out. And I'm like, no, she didn't. Not when she started. She would be angry about things. And she'd come in and she would say, well, I cannot believe. And you'd want to tell a story about something. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I still am like that.
Okay, but you've gotten better at it.
More often not that way than I am that way.
Right.
But
right.
it still happens.
Right. And the amount, like, you could have something going on and it can occupy your entire headspace for like 2 days. And you're literally tired from just banging around in your head and emotionally beat up, and you didn't do anything. Just shooting you guys straight. Does that help, Todd? Cool. So keep working on the mind stuff. Keep being aware of the way that you feel, and then keep, as you learn, no matter how you feel, do the next thing, get to the next one. I don't want to speak specifically about rate, but here's the deal. More relationships, more deals tends to solve that problem. Being better. Fair? Cool.
Yeah, it's good.
Awesome. So now let's go to Lisa. Corey, what is your challenge that you like support with?
Hey guys. First, share a win. I have my assistant in place, rocking and rolling.
Congrats.
Yes. So that has really freed up my time and my mind to really get laser focused on the system.
Awesome.
So on Wednesdays, my challenge is, how do you determine which realtors you really want to focus on? I'm dealing with squirrels. There's so many realtors. There's so many choices. And then the squirrels are getting in my way. And I'm like,
Wait, can you define squirrels for me?
Squirrels is squirrels running around in your head all over the place.
Oh, the squirrels in your head. I thought you were referring to realtors being squirrels. Okay, got it. So what I was talking to Todd about, was that hitting home with you? Is that what you?
Yes, and what I need from my group is, how do you pick which realtors you want to spend time with, send videos with, have a meeting with? Do you look them up? I know that, we send out Facebook, can you recommend a good realtor in your area?
Yeah.
But I've grown past that point, to the point that I know I want to focus on the producers and not maybe not the onesies, twosies, which is okay.
I've got some really good ideas around that, but let's go around here too, because there's some super smart people on this call that I'm sure have this dialed in. Who's got this dialed in right now that wants to raise their hand? Deanna. Jane's going next. Go ahead, Deanna.
Jane should probably go first. She's smarter than me.
No, just because you said that, it's not happening. Not.
I actually thought that same thing, Lisa, because, when you start this out, you gather. I'm like, oh my gosh, got to get them all. And I realized I wasn't focused, and it kind of contributed to my panic, because I had a lot of good friends, but not a lot of good business. So I basically made a dating profile. I go, this is what I need in my business. And I defined the person that meets that dating profile. And we go on dates. I mean, Todd and I set appointments. We meet with people. And if they fit the dating profile, we take it to another level. If they don't, we're just like, hey, you're cool. You know, if you send me something, great. But I've narrowed it down to a good handful of people that I'm putting my energy into. And I'm seeing that results. And they're telling other people. So it's just being super clear for me what's important to me in that realtor relationship. And then holding them, in my own head, accountable to delivering on that relationship.
Deanna, that was fantastic. And I think Hillary's on recording this. I recommend everybody listen to that because there's a ton of wisdom right there. You did awesome on that. Jane Estes.
She did do awesome on that because I don't do that, and I love that idea. Where I am is I want to work with people that I love. And so for me, it's the start of that connection. As I get a lot of them from my listing side, we're doing the updates on the videos and everything, you're getting in front of them. When I get really good feedback, those are the ones that I will try to make a really good connection with. And then I'll also I have a couple of really good realtor friends that can tell me what they did last year, or how much business they're doing. So, and if I'll let somebody go easily if I don't like them, even if they are a big producer, if there's no connection. And then the other part is I have some of my really good realtors and say, hey, let's go, let's schedule a lunch, bring your favorite person in the office. And
that's a big dialogue right there too.
Yeah. Those are the two ways that I do it. But I haven't put together a dating profile. I like that too.
That was phenomenal. Anybody else want to share? I can share something. Go ahead, Amber.
I struggled with that last year. I realized that I looked at everybody as a potential. And so for me, what has worked is I decided I narrowed it down that there were 3 people that I was targeting to solidify a solid relationship with. Because what I would do is I'd go have a lunch, it went great, and I call them every once in a while, but I wanted really solid relationships. And so those people, I literally have an action plan within Pipedrive that, I go to lunch. Now I send them one of my favorite things. I send them ideas on Fridays, like fun facts on Fridays. Hey, here, you might like this. So for me, it's about solidifying those relationships instead of thinking of it like really big and everybody's my client. I've narrowed it down for me because I can squirrel real easy and been really on point. Who do I want? And they're going to be my client, and they're never going to send anybody else a deal. I'm their lender.
That was excellent too. Let me kind of summate to in here. The first thing I want you to check down for me, Lisa, is are you experiencing any fear of rejection?
No.
None. You're over that.
Care less.
Awesome. Okay, that's huge. I don't know. I'm just asking the question. Okay.
Nope.
Because that sometimes this question can come from I want to overanalyze and intellectualize because I have a fear of rejection and I don't want to get out there. Now you answered that really powerfully, so I don't believe that's it. Then secondly, I would then check down with it, kind of what to summate what they're saying is excellent. I would always do it like this. I would know exactly who I wanted on my team, and I would talk to as many people as possible. But when I was talking to them, my eye was always on qualifying, always. And we still do it with this business right now. I started today saying, hey, how tight we are on level 2. And all you need to do is reach out to Dan or Shira to be like, is he telling the truth? I mean, the amount of people that we talk to a lot of people. But the amount of people that I turned down and said, you're not ready for it, were a lot. So the process for me was, talking to people, but I have a very, very clear, Deanna said it perfectly. I love the dating analogy. I'm very, very clear on who are the clients that we can serve and who are the ones that we can't. And it's the same thing for you and your business. I don't waver on that either. But what I do well is that don't have hard I don't believe I have any fear of rejection, and I'll talk to as many people as possible, and I'll go through the process, and I'll go through the work of doing that. And that's what I want for each and every one of you. Now, you can also say, dude, I wanted something more tactical than that. And I would say, here's the deal. When I stopped finding people to talk to, I would drive around and call the listing agent on houses that were for sale, because at least they had a house for sale. And I would say, I'm a mortgage lender in the area. I have a lot of clients that are always interested in my opinion on houses. Can you tell me a little bit more about your house? And I would open it up and I'd get them talking, and then I'd create relationships from there. I would not try to sell them. I would not try to do anything from there. I would then put them into my database, and, and for you guys, I'd connect with them on social, and great, and it's a way just to talk to people. They literally love talking about their listings. I'm not kidding. Like, and so if you want something on a tactical level, and you go, okay, well, I don't want to just talk to people that I see are realtors, because they might not have any deals. That's a great. I didn't either. So I was always looking for more introductions, financial planner, anybody, my network, other realtors. They said a lot of great things in here. I was always looking for, who do you know? Who do you know? Who do you know? Who do you know? And then I used to drive around, and I would call, and I did my Wednesday system. I'd just pick up the phone and say, hey, Sharon, I'm looking at your house on 6040 Alderdale right here. I'm a mortgage lender in the area. I have a big database of clients. They're always asking me about homes, and I do a lot of work in this area. I've probably done 50% of the loans in Piedmont. So tell me a little bit more about your listing. What's going on? And then I would just keep asking questions from there. I got some big people from that.
Wow.
So that was mine. But, if anybody else has a better, that's what I did. Now, didn't grow up in the social age as much as you guys are. But that's how I did it.
Okay. No, that was very helpful, you guys. Thank you.
And I was very targeted too. So it was I want top producing realtors in this zip code in these neighborhoods. And then it was my job to know them. I think what you're talking about with the squirrels is, I'll take anybody in Boston or Massachusetts, right? Maybe and it gets really easy when you can, if you think about it like this. In the old days, all sales jobs were territories. So when you'd work for a real estate company, not kidding, in 1960, you'd get a territory. That was your territory. And we've lost that. So if you look in terms of I want to have the highest market share in this zip code or these neighborhoods, and you can get what's called hyper local, you'll do so much better. When if you guys go to level 3, when we start running ads for you guys in Facebook and Instagram, we're going to set it up in a very hyper local, and then brand you guys as local celebrities in that area, so that you can have these conversations. The mistake that everybody's making, all these yang yangs on Facebook with all these Facebook ads, is I'm like, dude, you guys aren't doing it right. You have to be building a long-term, you want to be a local celebrity so you can have great relationships, so you can have a relationship business long-term, if that makes any sense. You don't want to be creating Facebook ads to get stinking cold leads. You might as well pay Zillow for dumb internet leads. So that's obviously a little rant from my perspective, but it's my truth. So
no, that gives me clarity. Yeah.
Okay, cool. That was helpful.
Yes, it was very helpful. Thank you.
Awesome. It's 12:32 real quick. I've been on all day doing presentations, so I just have to take my dog out real quick. We're going to take a 30-second break, and Cher's going to sing for you, and I'll be right back.
That's not going to happen.
Dave Tanner.
Dave Tanner. Calling Dave Tanner.
Dave Tanner.
Yes.
Did you see that? What I posted to you?
Here we go. Yes.
So then make a call right after you post it. Tell them you posted it, and then ask them about their listing, ask them about the house, ask them to get that conversation going, and then do the follow-up Monday, Tuesday after the open house.
Now, do you think it's better to make the phone call before you share it?
So no, we're sharing, and then we're private messaging them that we shared it. But I think I'm going to have my assistant give me a list of names to call.
Right.
That day, because she's doing it on Fridays for me.
That
So
would work
just
as a
so you
video
guys
message
understand
as well.
what we're talking about is on Facebook groups, sharing and letting them know, like open house and all that stuff. And then Shannon's making the follow-up calls on Monday or messaging, how'd the open house go? So I think that's a great call. And like with Deryck saying that as well, it's just get on the phone and start letting them know you shared it.
I'm doing the private message, but I think that picking up the phone would be amazing.
I also think the idea of targeting it, getting it to who you want to work with in your specific area is huge. I mean, obviously we can do it, in the state of California or Colorado or whatever, but going for your target market, that's having all this stuff everywhere doesn't do anybody any good. It's just bringing it down to where you want to work.
Yeah, I was in DC last Friday, and I have a friend who's really big in real estate, and he was like, hey, can you, as a favor, can you come counsel our top realtor in DC about what they should do from a marketing perspective? And we were walking around DC, and I was like, wow, what you do is you pick one building. It's not DC, it's not even a neighborhood in DC. You pick one apartment building, and we could target that for them. So we created a couple things just for that building. And then it's like, okay, you want to own this building, become the local celebrity that they think of right there. And so the realtors, they have to go to the consumer. We don't do that as well. But one of my initiatives for you guys is to keep staying in your ear, to be like, hey, you know what? We can be top marketers too. We can. And so we need to think like this as well. So hyper local, and then own that, Lisa. Okay. Pick, I want to know your target market. I want to know you're very defined. And then your job is to know all those people in that area, any producer, and do all the loans in that area. Is that fair?
Yes, that actually makes it easier for me.
Cool. Amber Milligan, sorry about that.
So I keep coming back to the same pain point, which is assistance. And so I am slowing down before I speed up. And in that, one of the things that I've realized is what I hate doing. Like, I cannot stand getting into the loan process, and I'm getting bogged down. And it's drastically affecting my business because I'm so bogged down into all the deals. So I need help and support around, what does that look like to hire somebody? Really, I mean, is it smart to hire somebody that's licensed right from the get-go? Because to be honest, I don't want to do that piece anymore.
So you got a lot there. You got a lot there. I'm considering to open this up, but let me open this up really quick. But if it gets too rabbit holey, I'm going to pull it back. Okay. And to get it specific, who's got this dialed in? Who's struggled with this and then now has it dialed in? Unfortunately, Jenny, you're going to be my go-to on this because it sounds like you do, but you didn't always. And I think you've been in level 2 the longest, and I think you did the work, right? Like, that's what I'm about to tell her. Is there anything else?
Yeah. I think you have to decide who you want to hire. I knew from the get-go I was not going to hire anybody without experience, because I am so anal about the experience that my clients get, but I also want to give a lot away, and I can't give that away and mentally release it to somebody that doesn't have experience. I had to know that. I mean, for me, I had to pinpoint my person was, they've been a loan officer, but they hate to get the business. They know how to do loans, and they love the making the loan work, and they have a personality friendly enough to talk to my clients without me feeling like I have to go behind them and have those conversations. But when you find that person, it's golden, because then you can really let it go. I made the mistake prior to the one I have now, trying to hire people without experience because it was cheaper, and I couldn't mentally let it go. And so I might as well just not even had anybody.
What I would counsel you
depends on who you want, right? Because like Kim doesn't want quite as much as I do. And so if you like that part and don't want to give as much away, you may hire differently than I hired.
Dude, I want to give it all away. I just want to focus on what I have fun doing, which is building relationships, having events, doing that stuff, and I can't do it, which makes me dislike the job. You know?
Okay, ready for this though? Ready for this?
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I'm coming at you. You have to go through the process, Amber, of being in the loan and systemizing it and saying this is how we do it here. You have to do that. And you have
I
to
have done that. Like, I mean, I've had that for 2 years, but I'm the one that's doing it. I'm the one doing all the touches. I'm the one.
Well, then the next question for me is, do you have a specific job duty written out for this person that you can speak from that? Do you have the what is this person's job? Do you have it like on paper that you can post this everywhere?
Working on that. It's almost complete right now.
Okay.
But I'm working on that where it's.
Can you have it complete by San Diego and present it?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to get to come to San Diego. My ex is on his honeymoon during that week, and it's final weeks for my little one, so I can't pull her out of school because she's.
Oh, okay. I was like, the ex on the honeymoon, how does that affect it? Right now, I get.
I have a little one.
Got it. Okay.
So we'll see. Her sister, I think her sister has finals then too, but her sister's not sure because of some of her classes. So
okay. Well, if you can't, then by the end, March 19th, I want to see that posted in the level 2 group so I can look at it. And then using what Deanna said too, then I want you to be very specific about who the person that you're hiring, what are the qualities, who is that person? You know, what Jenny just said was really good. There's not a right or wrong answer. I tend to go with I'll hire that doesn't have experience because I'm hiring character and competence because I can never teach character and competence. So I look at character and competence as number one, but I'm willing to go through the year that it takes to train somebody because I actually like training, if you guys haven't figured that out, right? So, and I like no bad habits from people, or this is how we did it, you should do it here. Like I like that. So like, but that's me and I know me, right? Jenny knows Jenny. And so she did Jenny, right? The only thing that's important is that you know Amber and you do Amber, and then you say, this is who I'm looking for. These are these specific job duties. And then it's no different than we were just talking about with the realtors. You got to be talking to people that needs to be everywhere. Who do you know? Who do you know? Who do you know? Who do you know? I can't tell you what to do until I see that document though.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. I'm hoping to have it done by the middle of next week. So I'll post it.
March 19th, your due date. Is that fair?
That's fair.
And I'd love to see you in San Diego presenting that because you're not the only one, Amber, that struggles with that. In fact, could you have it done before San Diego, and then maybe we could even Zoom you in or something if you can't make it? Because this is something that everybody. Did you notice when I said who has it dialed in? Did you see how many hands were raised? None. So this is going to be a topic at San Diego that we're going to cover extensively. So I'd love for you to have some accountability around that. And then I'd love for them to watch me work you through getting more specific. You got to get more specific. And then you come up with a plan with it. Is that fair?
That's fair.
Cool. Dave Tanner.
Hey guys, so actually Todd's question is right up my alley right now. So I got a lot of good feedback on that. Just a lot of different things going on, Facebook groups, just literally the day-to-day stuff, and still producing the loans can get to where you're just like, man, it would be so nice to have somebody take care of this section or this section. So I am in the process of looking at a virtual assistant. Shannon and I have been working on that here just for a little bit.
Now, are you talking about Shannon Dahman or it's another Shannon? Okay.
Shannon Dahman.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. Just because she's been using one and it's been working out really well for her. So
awesome.
I think that's, again, the time management aspect of it is, and also how much time am I working? I feel like I'm working a lot. But
the question is, and maybe someday I should do this. The question is, if I sat next to you and had a stopwatch, how many hours? That's the question. Now, you can do it without me if you can be as strict as I would be on it, and you can put a stopwatch on there, do it one day. I think you'd be absolutely shocked to find out how much you actually work in a day. I'm not accusing anybody of anything. I'm only talking from personal experience when I wasn't aware.
Right.
It took some people close in my life to be like, buddy.
It's almost like an action and in a football game, how much action there really is compared to how much other crap's going on in a football game or a sporting event.
Yeah, awareness is the first battle, and I wasn't aware. And once I became aware, then that's when I started getting into, time management and time blocking and doing this. But I also didn't. I felt, I expected my team to work 32 to 40 hours a week, and then they were telling me that I wasn't, and I was like, I'm in the office, like, dude, but you're not. You spend all this time in your head analyzing what just happened on that call or why somebody shouldn't do that. And I was like, God, you mean that's not productive? No.
He had a work intervention.
I did.
Yeah.
I did. It was funny. And
the other thing is finishing a task before you go on to another one. I think that's coming to grips with that, because I'm all over the place and that just doesn't work long-term at all.
I'll tell you that I had that up in my office forever. Pick one task, do it all the way till it's complete, and then move on. I had to teach myself. I tell you guys some of the things that I had to teach I had to teach myself mute, because I couldn't shut up when I was talking to people. And somebody on Dan's team, look at, I don't know if you notice how good Dan listens, right? Like, he's a world-class listener. I don't know if you guys picked that up. I learned it was somebody on Dan's team that taught me that, and I couldn't, and I literally had to use mute until I taught myself to shut up and listen. I taught, do one task till it's completed and then move on. That was something that I had to learn. And then the other one that I learned, relatively recently too, that's made a big difference, is that 5-second rule. I think I've noticed huge increases in my productivity and my happiness when I have a thought, instead of write myself a note on a to-do, I do it within 5 seconds. What I used to do is I would have a big long email of to-dos, and then I would go through them in the morning and try to knock out to-dos. And I shifted to, I have a thought, I have 5 seconds, do it. It was shocking how little time I had to spend doing that, and I didn't have these long to-do lists anymore. So those are some of the productivity hacks that I've used.
Now, that almost sounds like you're contradicting where I guess because that thought is, it's the number one task at that time. Is that what you're saying? And you just do it?
Yeah. So give you context, like right now, like nobody's done it yet, but let's say somebody says, hey, Deryck, do you mind emailing me the video on this that you talked about? It happened yesterday. What I used to do is I literally would send myself an email, and then I had time set aside in the mornings that I would do it tomorrow morning. What I shifted to was I get off, go find it, click it, done.
Okay.
That was a big shift for me. Now I don't have to-do lists anymore. I feel so much freaking freer. I'm telling you, I've been watching the Olympics every night, and I'm like, is this what people do? Like, do they actually have time to watch? Like, they actually can watch. Like, I actually have been able to watch, and I don't have that like, oh my God, I should, and on my head anymore. So it's helped a lot. I give Mel, she's the author of that 5 second. That helped a lot. So it's one task, do it till it's complete, move on. And if it enters my brain, do it. Either do it or don't.
Right.
So I've gotten a lot better at those. Those made huge shifts.
Well, I'm going to work on both of those, because I really think that's going to help out a lot. So I'm good. Thank you.
Awesome. Dave, Dante, I'm vibrating real low today. I would not like to be called on or participate. I was like going to call on you. I got you, Dante. Feel better. All right, buddy. Kim Venable.
Hey, can you hear me?
I am.
Good. I kind of have a praise, I guess. It's my part-time assistant that I hired.
Uh-huh.
She has been in the office mostly this week, and I've been in meetings and out and about, and she's done amazing. It's now time for me to turn over showing her how to do income docs. A little fearful of that, I gotta be honest, because I'm used to having somebody that has experience. So that's a little bit feeling.
Uh-huh.
But it's going well.
Okay, so you got a little bit of the control freak
Yep.
thing going on.
Yep.
You are a former underwriter, right? So you are very talented at doing income docs and income calculations. It's probably one of your special skills. So what I encourage you to do is to do every scenario that you can think about, record it, use ScreenFlow or do it on Zoom. Go through every one that you can. The self-employment one's a bear, but do it anyways. Do a straight W-2, do a straight with unreimbursed expenses. Do all the ones that you can look at, and then create a training library for this person to do over and over, so that because ready for this, guys, that person is more fearful than you are. And you guys don't realize that. And they are like this. They live in mortal fear of like, I don't want to make a mistake, but I don't want to bother Kim. I don't want to make a mistake, but I don't want to bother Kim. I don't want to make a mistake. Remember when you were probably working on Jenny's team, you probably felt like that, right? Mm-hmm. And so understand that anxiety of that and say, okay, we have 10 videos right here. I want you to do it. This is how you're going to do each one of these things. I want you to also know, this is a big one. I want you to also know that if you're not 100% on it, shoot me a message, because the most important thing in this business is that we get it correct on the front end. But I'm human, you're human, and sometimes there could be squirrels in our heads. And so just know that I'm available if you want to do it. But I want you to go through it. I want you to do this. And here's our training on this. And just know that I'm available. So if you don't have any questions on it, then let it roll. If not, this. And ready for this, Kim?
Yeah.
The hardest one for you is they're going to make a mistake and you have to be okay with it. Yeah. Does that make you want to throw up?
Yeah.
I know. It makes it, but that's the one thing that holds everybody back usually from getting to the next levels. They're unwilling to allow somebody to make a mistake in their name. But it holds you guys back.
I remember telling somebody at a retreat that you said 80% as long as they do it.
80%.
80% as well as you do. But then it's my turn to hand it over, and I'm like, ugh.
It's puke city, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, I know it. I know it. But you can't get to that freedom that Jenny was talking about, that Amber wants, that you want. You can't get to that until you can release those things. Now, I'm in no way endorsing somebody. If they make mistakes over and over and they're not doing it, it's the wrong person. Okay. I'm in no way endorsing that. What I am endorsing is they need to be trained. They need to allow for you to be available for the first 6 months if they have any questions, and they need to hear from you. The only thing that matters is that we get it absolutely correct. So I want to let you know, here's your training and I'm available for this, but you're going to roll with this. And then when they make the mistake, know that they feel absolutely horrible and awful. And they didn't eat that night and they just kicked their cat and they're upset about it. And if it's the right person, then that person will get it and not make those mistakes again. If they consistently keep doing it and they're not coming to you and then they're resentful for you because why are you such a tyrant? Then that's your cue for like, let me just introduce you back into the workforce.
Okay.
Is that fair? But you have to go through that process. Bobby McGeehan. Oh, Bobby just was making a comment. Did you have anything, or are you just making a comment?
I don't know what you picked up on. I'm happy to share a win.
Oh, I said I didn't know Jenny Center lost deals. Mind blown.
Oh, yeah. That was a while back.
All the time, my friend, all the time.
Okay, so unless I'm seeing this wrong. Now, I could be seeing this wrong. Is there anybody else that I'm missing in here? Is there anybody else that has a challenge or they have something they want to discuss or to get any support around? Okay, cool. Guys, this will be our last one in a big group before San Diego. Hopefully most of you guys are going to be there. If you're not going to be there and you want something to work on, as I spoke with Amber, shoot me a message in the level 2 and we'll see if we can work something in. If you have something that's a general that everybody would benefit from, then we can certainly work through that. Amber's, as I can say, that's probably 90% of the people have that same thing and want to see that we need to go through that process in San Diego, detailed. So I'd love to use yours as an example because it's right in front of you. So I encourage you to go, but if you can't go, then let's figure that out. Okay, Amber? Everybody else, we are going to be on next Tuesday. We'll post the agenda detailed step by step and what are the things to do to have ready for San Diego. You'll have that a maximum 2 weeks beforehand so that you can prepare for it. It's gonna be similar to this, but we're gonna have more exercises. We're gonna get through all this stuff, and we're gonna hammer home so that everybody walks away, as Jenny said, with that peace that comes from knowing that you have a rock solid business from here to, for years to come. Is that fair? You guys have a fantastic Thursday. I'll talk to you soon.